thought past that, or?
Well, it's a character I'd like to continue to play. I'd like to kind of do it as almost like 2000 AD's Judge Dredd. That's a character that came out in the 70s.
Okay.
And as they made comic books and stories with him, they basically let the character age in real time. So I
Oh,
thought it'd be kind of cool to age in real time as the Iron Detective.
yeah.
So like I could be like a 60-year-old, Iron Detective maybe. But moving beyond that, I'd love to take on some more roles as an actor. I'd like to try to do. Um, I've always wanted to do like a King Arthur, Knights of the Round Table kind of story.
Oh,
But it really depends on what character I could play in it, or would I rather just say, you know what, I can't do that because, I'm half American Indian and I look kind of Hispanic, so I don't exactly scream, English knight or anything like that. But I do like knights in armor and stuff like that. I find that stuff fascinating. I'm also interested in doing a film about my Native American tribe, the
what tribe?
Potawatomi, the Prairie Band Potawatomi,
Oh,
and there's actually the Indian Removal Act had a tribal removal, and it was called the Trail of Death. A lot of the Potawatomi tribe was kind of kicked out of the Great Lakes area,
oh,
and they now reside in Marietta, Kansas, on a reservation.
really?
So I'm a part of that tribe, and I was like, that'd be kind of a cool story to maybe tackle as like a mini series or something.
Oh,
But I'll have to see how that goes because
yeah,
I'm not sure if I can do that. I got to get the funding first.
yeah. Well, that would be interesting, though.
Hmm.
One, just quickly, I wanted to ask
Hmm.
about current TV. Do you find any inspiration in it?
I honestly the most I think that television is the new Hollywood. And this is just my personal opinion. I'm prepared to discuss this with people, but I feel like Netflix and Amazon, Prime and things like that. There's lots of good content that's coming out on television shows.
Yeah,
Um, it feels like when you were, maybe in the 70s and 80s, people wanted to be in films,
yeah,
and TV shows were just like, well, you can do a TV show, and that's just okay.
yeah,
That's the small screen. Now, television shows are like the new Hollywood because people are like, I want to be on a show because not only will I get to explore a character, but I'll get to have like a regular job, a regular
right.
paycheck. So if you look at something like Bryan Cranston, Breaking Bad, that was a dream role to land, and he nailed it. He did a great job with that.
Yeah.
He had a steady job for a long time, and it's now cemented him as a level talent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think that television shows like Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, say what you will about them, lots of people watch them because they're like, oh, I can watch this at home. I don't have to go to the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
I still enjoy to go to the movies. That's my thing, but it is kind of a cost thing. I mean, if you go to the movie now, you can drop, a lot of money on that. So people are like,
Yeah,
I'll just have a subscription to like a streaming service and I'll watch films there.
yeah,
So I think television is not replacing Hollywood films yet, but it's definitely giving it a run for its money.
yeah,
And I feel that content has become easier to produce now. It's just making good content is the key. So filmmakers like Nicholas James, Christopher Commons, Davis DeRock, Chad Crenshaw, they have the tools, they have the skills to do something, and they can do it for a fraction of the cost that a studio would do. But they can put together stuff that is A level. And I think that's going to be what changes the landscape. I feel that more independent content is going to come out. It's going to start showing people that, hey, I can do this, but you gotta work just as hard as the big guys, but your story is going to be more interesting than this other story because this is just a recycled TV show from the 60s or something,
yeah, yeah.
Hollywood loves to do remakes,
Yes.
or reboots or prequels, and it's just kind of like, all right, like again, the exception being Star Wars. I'll watch Star Wars every year. I have no problem with that. But everything else has kind of been, done to death. So I feel that independent content is going to make people excited about films again.
Yeah.
And I think younger filmmakers are always going to be like, well, where can I learn? I was like, well, here, look at this film. Okay, this film came out before you were born. but look at how they made it, you know, and I think
Yeah.
people will learn from that.